The sound is a sharp, sickening crack of failure. The spear point, a beautifully worked piece of grey silcrete, shatters against the armored flank of the Ankylosaurus, its fragments skittering uselessly across the creature's bony plates. Then the Kran's toolmaker lets out a low groan of frustration. From the safety of the rocky ridge, he watches the rest of the hunting party fall back as the Ankylosaurus, a living fortress of bone and keratin, swings its massive, clubbed tail in a whistling arc that could pulverize a man's skeleton. The beast is a walking feast, a mountain of meat that could feed their clan for a moon, but it is untouchable. Its hide is a mosaic of fused bony plates, or osteoderms, an armor so perfect that it breaks their finest weapons. This is the third hunt to end this way. The long dry season has driven the softer-skinned prey from their territory, leaving them with a hard choice: starve, or find a way to kill the unkillable. Fen's hands, calloused and scarred from a lifetime of shaping stone, feel useless. He is a master of his craft, a keeper of knowledge passed down through generations of early humans. He can look at a piece of rough flint or silcrete and see the blade hidden within. He can strike a stone with a hammer or bone and predict the precise shape of the flake that will fall away. But his art has reached its limit. His sharpest edges, the pinnacle of their technology, are as effective as throwing pebbles against a mountain. The clan is hungry, the children's bellies are tight, their cries thin and weak. The mood in their small rock shelter is one of quiet, gnawing despair. Fen sits by the central fire pit, turning a piece of flawed silcrete over and over in his hands. He is not just a craftsman, he is an observer, a primitive scientist in a world that has no name for such a thing. His mind is a library of the properties of stone. He thinks back to a few seasons ago. After a wildfire had swept through a section of their valley, he had found a chunk of silcrete in the ashes. Its color subtly changed, a faint, waxy sheen on its surface. When he had struck it, out of idle curiosity, it had flaked differently. The break was cleaner, smoother, with a glassy edge that seemed to bite into his calloused thumb with a startling sharpness. The memory is a spark in the darkness of his frustration. Fire changes things. It changes wood to charcoal. It changes meat from raw to cooked. It changes clay to hard pottery. What if it could change the very nature of the stone itself? The thought is radical, almost blasphemous. Stone is eternal, unchanging. It is the raw material of their world, not something to be altered, but the memory of that fire kissed rock is too strong to ignore. A dangerous idea begins to form. He will not just find a better stone, he will make one. He will cook the rock. The risk is immense. Their supply of good quarry today's walk away is limited. Every piece he uses for an experiment is a spear point that cannot be made for the hunters. If he fails, he will have wasted their most precious resource, hastening their starvation. You will be a fool who tried to cook a rock. But if he succeeds, if he can unlock the secret of the fire, he can create a weapon that will change their world. If you have ever been faced with a problem that your best tools cannot solve, then you understand the choice that Fen is making. He is stepping off the map of known things into a world of trial, error, and the terrifying possibility of absolute failure. Watch him now as he prepares to commit his clan's future to the heart of the flame. He waits until the clan is asleep. He builds a small, separate fire in a secluded hollow. Away from the main camp, he takes a single, perfect piece of silcrete, a stone he would normally have shaped into a magnificent blade, and he buries it in the sand beneath the fire's heart. He does not know how much heat is needed, or for how long. This is a journey into the complete unknown. He sits, and he waits, listening to the crackle of the flame, the keeper of a secret that will either save his people or doom them. The first experiment is a disaster. Fen waits until the morning fire has cooled to a bed of soft, grey ash, with a pair of green sticks. He carefully digs out the piece of silcrete. The stone is warm to the touch, its color unchanged. There is no waxy sheen. He places the stone on his anvil, a large, flat river rock, and strikes it with his antler hammer, a perfectly controlled blow that should have cleaved a long, elegant flake from its side. Instead, the silcrete explodes. It shatters into a dozen useless, jagged pieces with a sharp, cracking sound that makes his heart sink. Too much heat, too fast. The fire had not transformed the stone, it had simply broken its spirit, creating a web of internal fractures. He has wasted a perfect lithic core. He quickly buries the evidence of his failure before the others wake, the shame of it a cold stone in his own gut. His obsession grows. He is haunted by the memory of the fire-kissed rock, the ghost of a perfect blade. He continues his experiments in secret, a high-stakes scientific process driven by instinct and observation. He learns that the fire cannot touch the stone directly. It needs to be insulated, the heat introduced slowly, gently. He begins to bury the silcrete deeper in the sand beneath his experimental fires, building the flames up slowly over hours. This is a new and dangerous art, a form of pyrotechnology that has no precedent. He is writing the textbook with each failure. Another stone emerges from the fire pit, cracked and crazed. A third shows no change at all, the heat too low. He is wasting their future with every attempt, and the hunters are now carrying spears with ray-sharpened, worn-out points. The clan's hunger sharpens, and so do the suspicious glances they cast his way when he returns from a scouting trip with empty hands and the faint smell of smoke clinging to his hides. His mate, Nea, confronts him. She has seen the buried shards of his failed experiments. She does not see a fool, but a man consumed by a desperate, dangerous hope in her eyes. He sees the hard choice facing them all: a slow, certain starvation, or a gamble on a madman's dream. She does not condemn him. She simply places a perfect, unworked piece of silcrete in his hand, a silent act of faith that is more precious than any word. This gift, this act of communal trust, steels his resolve. He will try one more time, using everything he has learned from his failures. He builds his fire with the precision of a master craftsman. He digs a deep pit, lines it with flat stones, and buries the silcrete in a thick, insulating blanket of clean sand. He does not build a roaring bonfire, but a low, steady fire of hardwood coals, a fire that gives a consistent, penetrating heat. He tends it all night, a sleepless vigil. Feeding it small pieces of wood, his senses attuned to the color of the flames, the smell of the smoke. He is not just a toolmaker, he is becoming a chemist, a physicist, a priest of a new technological religion. As dawn approaches, he lets the fire die down, but he does not excavate the stone. He has learned that the cooling is as important as the heating. He lets the stone rest in its warm bed of sand for a full day, a slow, patient release of the fire's captured energy. When he finally pulls it from the cool embers the next evening, his heart is pounding. The stone is different. It has a faint, pinkish hue, and its surface has the rich, waxy luster he remembers. He holds it to his ear and taps it with a small piece of antler. The sound is not the dull clack of raw stone, but a clear, musical ring. Something has changed deep within it. He takes a breath, picks up his hammer, and prepares to strike the first blow in a new chapter of human evolution. The first strike is a revelation. The antler hammer connects, and a long, impossibly thin flake of silcrete falls away from the core. The break is perfect, with a surface as smooth as still water and an edge so sharp it seems to cut the air. Fen stares at it, a tremor of awe running through his hands. It is not just a better flake, it is a different order of creation. The fire has unlocked the stone's soul, aligning its internal structure into a perfect medium for his art. The process of knapping the rest of the blade is a joy, a conversation between craftsman and material where the stone seems to anticipate his desires, yielding to his will with an effortless grace. The final spear point is a masterpiece. It is lighter than his old designs. Its edges are a razor line of translucent fire-kissed rock, and its point is needle-sharp. It is not just a tool, it is a promise. He does not keep the secret to himself. He shows the new blade to the clan's lead hunter, a grim, powerful man named Bor, who had been watching Fen's strange obsession with a weary skepticism. Takes the spear point and tests its edge against the thick hide of his own shield. A normal blade would scrape the surface. This one bites deep, slicing a clean line with minimal pressure. A slow, wolfish grin spreads across Bor's face. Hope, a feeling that had become as scarce as meat, returns to the camp. Fen works tirelessly, transforming their remaining stock of silcrete into a new arsenal of burnt blades, each one a testament to his painful, secret journey of discovery. They hunt the Ankylosaurus at dawn. The plan is the same, but the tools are revolutionary. They corner the beast in a narrow ravine, the same tactic that had failed 3 times before. The great herbivore feels no fear, only a placid annoyance. It hunker rests down, presenting a wall of impenetrable armor, and waits for the pathetic, soft-skinned apes to break their sticks against its hide once more. The hunters, their hearts pounding with a mixture of terror and newfound hope, move in. Beoa takes the first throw. He does not aim for the great armored plates on the creature's back. He aims for a small, seemingly insignificant gap in the armor. The flexible joint where the massive leg meets the shoulder, a target that was previously impossible to penetrate. The spear flies true. Fen, watching from the ridge, holds his breath. The new blade does not shatter. It does not glance off, it bites, punches through the thick, leathery skin, and sinks deep into the muscle beneath. The Ankylosaurus lets out a bellow, not of annoyance, but of shock and real pain. It tumbles, its leg buckling. For the first time, they have wounded it. Another hunter, emboldened, drives his own fire treaty's underbelly as it rears. The hunt is still a brutal, dangerous affair. But the fundamental equation has changed. They are no longer chipping away at a fortress with pebbles. They have found the key. They have the tool that can unmake the unkillable. The meat from the great armored beast will feed their clan for weeks. But Fen's discovery will feed their descendants for generations. He has not just found a new way to hunt, he has proven that the most powerful weapon in their world is not the sharpest stone, but the stubborn, curious, and indomitable human mind. In the days that follow, as the clan feasts and their strength returns, a new kind of hierarchy forms. Beoa is still the strongest hunter, but Fen is now the master of fire and stone, the keeper of a sacred, powerful knowledge. The process of heat-treating silcrete becomes a guarded ritual, a secret that gives their clan a tremendous evolutionary advantage. This single technological leap, born from one man's refusal to accept the limits of his tools, will echo down through their lineage. It is the beginning of a conversation between humanity and the very elements of the earth. The first time we did not just find a material, but actively transformed it to suit our needs. It is the dawn of metallurgy, of chemistry, of science itself, all contained in the simple, revolutionary act of cooking a rock. This quiet, intellectual struggle, a battle fought not with muscle but with muscle, but with muscle, but with muscle, but with patience and relentless curiosity, is a far more profound and significant victory than any single hunt. It affirms the trajectory of our species, that our path to dominating the planet would be paved not with the bones of our enemies, but with the accumulated knowledge of our experiments, each failure a stepping stone to a sharper, more illuminated future. Our ascent began when we learned that the secrets of the world were not just there to be found, but to be unlocked. But what happens when a secret this powerful is stolen?